All right, so let's dive in. We're looking at this really powerful historical account today.
Yeah, it's about people facing some intense opposition while trying to build something pretty essential.
Right. And this ancient story, it actually gives us some surprising insights that feel, incredibly relevant for maybe what you're trying to build in your life right now.
Mm-hmm. Could be a project, a relationship, maybe even something more personal.
Yeah, like character or faith.
Exactly. So our goal for this deep dive is really to unpack this story. We want to get a handle on the challenges they were up against,
Look at their strategies, how they dealt with it.
and then pull out that sort of timeless wisdom that you can actually use today when you're building something and facing pushback, and how it connects to faith and obedience, too.
Okay, so let's paint the picture. Ancient Jerusalem, it's basically in ruins.
Yeah, total ruins.
Hmm.
And these people, they commit to this huge task, rebuilding the city walls.
Which wasn't just like a DIY project. This was security, it was identity, it was survival.
And like clockwork, the opposition starts almost immediately. You've got these regional leaders, Sanballat and Tobiah,
Right.
who saw a strong Jerusalem as, well, a threat to them.
Yeah.
And then there were others too, Arabians, Ammonites, Ashdodites. They were not happy.
Not happy at all. And the first thing they try is just mockery.
Yeah, pure ridicule. The account actually quotes them.
It does. Things like calling them feeble Jews or
Yeah.
asking, will they finish it in a day? Like total sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. Can they bring stones back to life from heaps of rubbish? Just trying to make it seem pointless.
And that classic line from Tobiah, wasn't it? Something like, even a fox climbing on their wall would break it down.
Exactly. Just designed to demoralize, make the whole thing feel foolish.
So right there, that's kind of a lesson, isn't it? When you're doing something important.
Expect it. Expect some resistance, mockery, criticism. It can honestly be a sign you're onto something good.
Yeah, don't let it stop you before you even get going.
Right. And these guys, they didn't stop. The text says they had a mind to work.
So the mockery didn't work. Then what?
Well, the opposition cranks it up. Sanballat, Tobiah, all of them, they get very angry seeing the wall actually going up.
Uh-huh.
And they actually conspire, they plot together to come and fight against Jerusalem to actively stop the work.
Okay, so now it's moved from insults to, like, a direct physical threat.
A serious threat.
So how do they respond to that?
Well, this is where we see this really critical two-part response in the account.
Okay.
First, he says, they made our prayer to our God. Straight away, they took the fear, the threat, to God.
Right, that's the faith part.
But, and this is crucial, it doesn't stop there. It says they also set a watch against them day and night.
So they didn't just pray and hope. They prayed and they acted.
Vigilance.
Exactly. Faith and practical wisdom, prayer and planning, they go hand in hand. That's
Yeah.
a huge takeaway for us.
Definitely. And it wasn't just the external enemies, was it? There were internal struggles, too.
Oh, yeah. The account mentions the people of Judah themselves felt like their strength was failing. They were just overwhelmed by all the rubbish, right? Yeah, just clearing the debris was exhausting work.
Totally. They were saying, we're not able to finish the wall. Plus, they were getting these constant warnings.
10 times, it says.
Yeah, 10 times Jews living near the enemies warned them about attacks coming. So you've got fatigue and fear building up inside the camp.
That sounds really tough. So leadership must have been key here.
Absolutely vital.
Yeah.
And Nehemiah, the leader, steps up. He organizes people by families.
Okay.
And he arms them. Swords, spears, bows. And he places them strategically at the weakest points of the wall.
And then he gives that incredible speech, that rallying cry.
He does. He looks at them and says, basically, don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight. Fight for your brothers, your sons, your daughters, your wives, your homes.
Wow. Connecting their courage directly to God's power and what they were protecting.
Exactly. And that show of readiness, that call to action, it actually worked. Well, the enemies heard their plan was discovered. The text says God had brought their counsel to nothing. Their surprise attack was foiled.
So they backed off.
For the moment, yeah. But the builders didn't just relax and go back to how things were before.
No, the whole structure of the work changed, right?
Completely. From that point on, it was half the people working on the wall and the other half standing guard, fully armed, spears, shields, bows, armor, ready.
And that leads to that really iconic image.
Oh, yeah. The builder with a tool in one hand.
And a weapon in the other. Every builder with his sword strapped to his side while he worked.
It's such a powerful picture. It speaks volumes about being vigilant while you build,
Yeah.
in whatever you're doing. You need your tools, but you also need your, let's say, your sword, your readiness for challenges.
And because they were spread out all along this huge wall, communication was critical.
Right. So they set up a trumpet signal. The trumpeter stayed near Nehemiah.
Okay.
And if trouble flared up anywhere, he'd sound the call, and everyone would rally to that spot.
Smart. And Nehemiah's confidence comes through again there, doesn't it? He tells them,
Our God will fight for us, that underlying trust.
yeah. And the dedication level was just off the charts.
Wasn't it? Working from morning light until the stars came out.
And that detail about not even taking off their clothes except to wash them, just total commitment and readiness.
Incredible focus.
So when we pull all this together,
Mm-hmm.
what does this ancient story really tell us about, say, obedience and strengthening our own faith today?
Well, I think first it really highlights that obedience often looks like perseverance,
Yep.
pushing through difficulty.
Right. Following God's call or just doing what you know is right, even when it's hard or scary or people are against you, that is obedience.
Exactly. Their sticking with the building was their act of obedience.
And what about faith? How did this whole experience strengthen their faith?
Well, their faith wasn't passive, was it? It was deeply active. They prayed and they worked. They prayed and they stood guard.
Mm-hmm. Trusting God would fight for them, but doing their part too.
Yeah. And Nehemiah constantly pointed them back to God's character, great and awesome. Remembering who God is fueled their courage when, let's be honest, fear was probably the natural reaction.
And seeing God actually intervene, like when the enemy plot just fizzled out.
Right. Verse 15 says, God brought it to nothing. Imagine how that would validate their trust, their reliance on him. It showed he was with them.
Yeah, you can see how that would build real confidence, real faith.
And even their unity, working together, guarding each other, that came from their shared purpose, which was rooted in their faith in God. It shows faith grows when we remember God and see him act, even right in the middle of the struggle.
So this deep dive, it really paints a clear picture when you're building something important, something meaningful.
Especially if you feel it's, God's work for you.
Expect challenges. That seems to be lesson one.
Yeah. Then prepare wisely. Don't just hope it goes away.
Pray continually. Keep that connection strong.
And press forward together. Find your community, your support.
It seems courage and strategy, when they're really rooted in faith, can overcome some pretty serious opposition.
Definitely. It's a powerful combination.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. Think about something you're trying to build or achieve right now. Maybe something that feels a bit daunting, or it's facing some kind of resistance.
Yeah, ask yourself, where do you see the need for both prayer and that practical readiness in your specific situation? How can you hold both the tool and the sword, so to speak?